All right, learning target 5 is about interpreting the correlation coefficient, or the R value. So this is our next new vocabulary word, is the correlation coefficient. You've already heard the word correlation. Coefficient is just a fancy word for number, okay? And sometimes this is called the R value. So it's given to you with an R next to it, and it'll say R equal to a number, okay? So the correlation coefficient is one value or number to tell the strength of a scatter plot. So this actually tells you the strength. So this doesn't tell you anything, it doesn't tell you anything about the slope of the line or anything like that. It just tells you how strong that line is. And you can see I have a number line here to show you. All of the possible values of the R is from -1 to +1. It can't go any bigger than that. So you're mostly going to see decimals, okay? If it was a +1, if R equals +1, it would be a perfect positive correlation. And same with a -1, it would be a perfect negative correlation, okay? R could also equal 0, and you could probably guess what that means. If R equals 0, that means there's absolutely no correlation whatsoever, okay? And I guess I didn't tell you where you can get this number. There's a pretty complicated way to figure it out. I'm not going to worry about that with you guys. What I am going to worry about is I'm going to worry about if I tell you what the R value is based on the technology. So we have calculators, computers that will tell us the R value of a scatter plot. We need to be able to interpret that number. We need to know what that number means in the interpretation, okay? So then what we're going to do is we're going to go from -1 to -0.8. That range of numbers, so anywhere from -0.8 up to -1, so -0.81, -0.85, -0.9, -0.99, that would be a strong negative. And then on the flip side, a 0.8 up to a +1 is a strong positive correlation. So those are the numbers we're looking for if we want to make a prediction, like I was talking about in the last learning target. We want it to be strong. So it has to have an R value of 0.8 up to a 1. Okay? And then anywhere in between here, so if it's anywhere from 0 to 0.8, it is a weak positive. And if it's anywhere from a 0 to a -0.8, it's a weak negative. Okay? So that's all of the realms of possibility. And what we really want is we want it to be somewhere in here or somewhere in here. We want it to be strong positive or strong negative for us to be able to do anything with the data. Okay? So we want to actually match these R values to these scatter plots below. You're going to match each one to a scatter plot. I want you to pause it. I want you to try it. Then you can unpause it and I'll tell you the answers. Okay, so go ahead and pause it. All right, so now you're ready. So a +1 would be for this first one because that's a perfect positive. A 0.8 would be for this one here. That's a strong positive. 0.3 would be here. That'd be a weak positive. A 0 would be here. That'd be no correlation. A -0.3 would be here. That's a weak negative. A -0.8 would go here. That's a strong negative. And then -1 goes here. That's a perfect negative. All right, so you've got 3 questions here to answer. What does an R value of -0.7 mean? Then you need to name 3 R values. So 3 different numbers. That means a scatter plot has a weak and positive correlation. And then 3 more R values. That means strong and negative, but not perfect for either one. Okay, so in other words, we're not using 1 or -1 in either of these. We're using decimals. Okay.